The Wealthy Life is brought to you by investment dealer Raymond James. Life well planned. See what a Raymond James advisor can do for you.
Imagine you're a busy mom in a blended family with 6 kids and a dog. You can barely make ends meet month to month. How do you get ahead? Well, with me today is Rainey. Rainey, that sounds like your situation, doesn't it?
That's exactly my situation.
So, what is it like living in a house full of kids?
We're busy. We're on our feet, and it's go, go, go from the time the alarm clock goes off. But we love our life, we love our children, and yeah, it's just what we're doing, and day by day goes by, and it just gets better and better.
I imagine that it's pretty expensive running a household with that many people in it.
It really is. We've got 3 boys, and they're all doing sports, and so huge parts of our income goes towards things like that. And our girls as well, they do their sports as well. So yeah, we find it hard to figure out ways to, be able to do trips or, holidays, things like that. But we figure it out, somehow we sort of find a way to make it happen. And
yeah, I guess you wanted to talk about buying an investment property was one of the ways that you might be able to get ahead. What is it that really appeals to you about buying an investment property?
Well, I think what it is that I see people constantly doing it and seeing them get ahead with the way that real estate seems to work. They buy something, they fix it up, and they're walking away with $50,000, $70,000, $80,000 in their pocket. And that's not necessarily something that we would have time to do, but in terms of investing and looking at sort of a long range plan, does that make sense for us?
So you're seeing the dollar signs are starting to appear there, and you're thinking, wow, maybe this is an opportunity for us to actually do something to get ahead.
Exactly.
Now, do you have a specific property in mind and a specific question for me today?
Yeah, so I actually found a pretty nice piece of property that's in a great location, and the price seems pretty good. It has 2 separate dwellings out of it, so it'll bring in some income. So, I think it looks like a good buy. It really is going to come down to, for us, does that make sense for us?
So that's your question for me, is does this property make sense?
Yes, exactly.
When we return, find out if Rainey gets the green light or should she put on the brakes. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're here with busy mom, Rainey, trying to figure out if she should go ahead with this investment property or not. Rainey, tell me a little bit more about this property that you're looking at.
Okay, well, I know all about the location thing. So I think in terms of this location that it's at, it's in a family suburb.
Perfect.
So that is, it's a wanted, desirable area in that sense. It is around schools, some good schools, and it's around a university. So you've also got students coming in and out of university that could also be, work within renting and things like that. So
Sounds like you've covered the rentability component to that. Yeah. Are you up for the challenge of being a landlord? And do you know what that entails?
Yeah, I think, in terms of being able to, be personable with people, I like that kind of stuff. I like being able to, figure that stuff out.
So it's not a concern for you?
No.
How about maintenance? Are you the one that's going to go in there and fix the toilets?
You know what? That's not my job, but that's going to be my husband's job. So we've kind of made a deal that
Perfect.
He's going to take that part on, and I'm going to do sort of the numbers.
So you're going to do the fun part, and he gets to do the dirty work.
That's right.
Okay, that sounds good. I just want to make sure you've thought that part through, because a lot of people underestimate the amount of work. They get so caught up on the financials, and they forget about the rest. And it's never easy making money, but you put in a little bit work and the rewards are fantastic. So that's great. I want to get into the numbers. So I'm getting my pen out here. What's the price of this home?
So this home is $600,000. It's listed at.
And does it have, would you rent the whole house out? Does it have a suite in it?
Yeah, so I'd mentioned before it's got 2 suites. So we have a 4-bedroom on one side and a 2-bedroom on the other side. So I'm sort of thinking that the 4-bedroom could go for $2,000 and the 2-bedroom would go for, say, $1,000.
Oh.
And I'm kind of thinking that's on the low end in case things change and, maybe rental isn't as easy, to rent out your places. So I'm going on the low end of that.
Okay, so you want to make sure that your place is always booked and doesn't sit there vacant.
Exactly.
Because that can be a huge cost and an unexpected surprise. Do you know what the property taxes are?
They're about $3,000.
And house insurance?
That goes up be about $1,500.
Mm-hmm. How about the utilities? Are you going to pay those utilities or are you going to get the tenants to pay?
No, we're going to have the tenants pay the utilities.
Smart choice, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Of course, as a renter, the renters are always going to try and find a place that they can get everything included. But when they have to pay their own hydro bill, they're a little bit more careful on what it costs. And that can really change the numbers dramatically. So
Good point.
that's good. That's one less thing for you to have to worry about. So I have a really slick formula. It's called the cap rate formula. One of these days I'm going to come up with a better name for it, but it's basically a capital formula. And anybody can run preliminary numbers, a few basic numbers through this formula, and it's going to tell you whether the numbers make sense or, whoa, you better proceed with caution, or forget it. There's better opportunities out there.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
Pique your interest?
Yeah.
So what we're aiming for is we want a cap rate, and don't worry about that term, but we're looking for a 5% net income stream.
Okay.
And that's as simple as it gets. So what I mean by that is we want whatever the purchase price of the property, multiply that by 5%. That's what your net income should be after your expenses. So in this case, you have a $600,000 purchase price. 5% of that is $30,000. So as long as you can net $30,000 a year, it's worth having a look. Now that's not a be-all and end-all formula. There's other factors that you want to consider, but it's a really, really good starting place. So based on what you've told me, you've got property taxes of $3,000.
Right.
You've got insurance of $1,500.
Yeah.
So that's $4,500.
Mm-hmm.
You've got income of $36,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So your net difference is $31,500. That's over the $30,000 that we were aiming for. So right off the get-go, I'm saying this is worth looking at.
Okay.
We should dig in a little deeper.
Okay.
Now, there's a few other things that you need to keep in mind. You want to make sure you have a reserve for other unexpected maintenance costs. Get an inspector to go through and outline the things that you need to look at over the next 5 to 10 years so you're not hit with some really, really big surprises.
Okay.
And as long as you feel comfortable with all of that, I would say go to the bank, see what you can do. Rainey, well, it sounds like you're going to get a green light from me.
I am so excited, Sybil. It sounds perfect. I love your formula. That makes sense to me. I'm kind of that numbers person, and that just made perfect sense to me. So we're going to do it.